So I am doing one experiment. I am talking here in front of him. So from my mouth, lot of aerosols are coming out. So the aerosols will just remove your mask for 1 minute. Aerosols will come like this. Can you smell it? You could smell? आपने मास्क पहना है. थोड़ा मास्क निकालो. You could also smell. You could also smell it. So she is 9 feet away and she is smelling this. What does that mean? So when we talk, the aerosols come out of our mouth and that goes 3 feet. I was 3 feet away from him. I was 6 feet away from him. I was almost 9 or 10 feet away from her and she could also smell it. What does that mean? That means that when we talk, the aerosols that come out from our mouth can go to 9 feet, 10 feet, and experiments have shown that it can go to 27 feet. It can go up to 27 feet. Now what used to happen till now? Abhi tak dunya mein kya hua? That as soon as the virus would come out, and the aerosols disperse, within a few seconds this virus used to die off. Now virus also wants to survive, we also wants to survive. So virus has devised new ways to survive. And it has learned our behavior. The virus knows that we touch knobs. The virus knows that without cleaning I'm going to pick up the mic. The virus knows that we keep shaking hands, we hug each other, we talk in front, we shout at each other. So the virus learned our behavior and it devised itself, the RNA, the gene of the virus, the DNA of the virus, that changed so that it can survive in the outside environment for more than 1 to 2 hours. So if HIV virus goes out and it's on a surface, so when we touch that surface, we don't get HIV, right? Because the virus dies within 45 seconds. HIV virus will die outside within 45 seconds. But COVID virus will survive for a few hours to up to 3 days on surfaces. Now it's not that wherever it settles we are going to get infection, okay? So there is a concept which is called viral load. Means, for example, if you are having water and the water has got typhoid bacteria in it, so unless and until something like 10 lakh typhoid bacteria goes inside, you will not get infected. Okay? So that's called the load, the bacterial load in this case, typhoid case. So similarly, there has to be a few lakhs to a few million viruses in that droplet which enters your nose or your mouth or your eyes, and only then it can infect you. That means that suppose I have COVID and I shake hands with him, I wipe my face and I shake hands with him, within 10 minutes, 15 minutes or maybe an hour you might get it. But if I have not touched it and for 3-4 hours you may not get it. So this is the way the virus has changed itself. So this virus only has one RNA molecule and it has got a covering which is called a bilayer. Means fat. A fat bilayer. So there is an RNA inside and there is a fat bilayer and there are a lot of spikes on the surface. So the spikes looks like a crown and that's why it's called coronavirus. And this same coronavirus, not same, a type of coronavirus caused a pandemic in 2002. And that also originated from China, from bats. So bats harbor a lot of viruses and if we come in contact with those bats, we get that virus. And in Kerala also that happened with Nipah virus. So Nipah virus came in Kerala about 2-3 years ago and about 21 people got initially infected. And that's not because Kerala people used to eat it. Somebody had gone inside the forest and maybe came in contact, handled the virus, and that's why the virus came out. But what did Kerala do? They immediately informed. They sealed off the village. They took all necessary precaution that is to be taken. That's why that infection remained in Kerala. It didn't go out even to the other districts, and that is why it did not spread. And what did China do? They caught the doctor and put him inside the jail. The doctor who declared that there is an epidemic going on here. They caught that doctor and put him inside the jail. Another doctor, one lady doctor, has disappeared. Nobody even knows where she is. So they hid the fact from the world. They manipulated the World Health Organization. They gave all false news to everybody else. And that is why, unfortunately, the virus has spread all over the world. But whatever be the cause, we have to now deal with it. And that's what we are trying to discuss today, how to deal with it. The virus is here. The virus has devised unique ways to survive in the outside environment and unique ways to spread from person to person. So let me tell you what can happen in the ideal situation. Okay? If all Indians remain away from each other, 6 feet away from each other for 15 days, all Indians remain away from each other for 15 days, the virus will disappear. But it's not possible. That's the ideal situation. Matlab, you have to remain away from each other for 15 days, because what happens? The virus goes inside, it multiplies, the body fights with it, the body destroys it, and it destroys it completely within 15 days. Most of the people, that's 80% of the people, the virus will go in, our immunity will fight against it, the fight will go on for around 14 to 15 days, the virus will disappear. But what the smart virus does, it enters the nose, nasopharynx, posterior nasopharynx, it enters the mouth, and it causes swelling out there, inflammation. That causes irritation, and that's why we cough. So the smart virus makes us cough. When we cough, we throw out droplets in the air, and that's how it spreads, because the virus knows that it needs a host. All the viruses need some host to survive. It cannot survive without an animal or a plant host. So the virus knows that I'm going to die in 15 days in this person. Before I die, I have to spread to somebody else. That's why, how do I spread? I will cough. I will make this guy cough. So when I cough, I spread to him. But I can spread to him also, there also, even if they are far away from me. Now what happens is, this hall, rightfully, what they have nicely done is that they have kept outside in a hall where everything is open and everybody is spaced out properly. So the same perfume, if I blow in a small closed room, what is going to happen? Yeah. What they have done is that they have kept in a very open place. Now suppose we were in a closed room, an absolutely closed room, fans not on, no windows, nothing, and I spray a perfume. I am sure right up till the 10th row here, you will be able to smell that perfume. That means what? In a closed room, the perfume is what? It's aerosols. Right? The aerosols go in the air and that particle travels right up till, the back benches and you can smell it. Okay? So if a perfume particle can spread there, if I talk loudly, if I cough, and we are in a closed room, these particles will also travel right up till the back, and that's how the virus can spread. And unfortunately, as I said, this virus survives till that. Till now, you also know that if somebody gets common cold in house, and if there are 6 members in house, maybe 1 or 2 more will get it. But corona, if one gets, there are chances that all the members will get it. It is that efficient in spreading from one person to other. And that is exactly what happened in US. So there were some 90 people they were practicing church choir, but they were in a small room because they wanted to sing and they wanted to play music. So obviously you will not keep the window open. So they kept all the windows and everything closed and they practiced choir for 90 minutes. 90 people for 1.5 hours. They were inside. 45 people became positive. 2 of them died. So that's how the coronavirus spreads. So that is why all the misleading reports that you see on paper, that it doesn't spread by talking, it doesn't spread, it's not airborne. Kindly don't listen to all those things. It is airborne, it is aerosol borne, it is droplet borne. It can spread from person to person and it can also spread from surfaces. But the spread from the surfaces will not be that efficient as spread from person to person. That's all. So suppose I have COVID and I am sitting on a chair somewhere. I am sitting on one of the chairs and I am continuously talking or coughing and then I go out. So that surface is going to have a dense concentration of virus. If somebody comes in that chair and sits on a table like that, after 2-3 hours, then he or she may get it. But if he comes after, let's say, 10 hours, 24 hours, he will not get it. So it depends on the concentration of the virus that is there in that particular surface or particular doorknob or particular room. So that is what you have to remember, that kindly don't go by these media reports who try to dilute the thing. Now, I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to tell you medical facts so that you can interpret it yourself. Once you know the medical facts, you can interpret it yourself what precautions you are supposed to take. So for example, I'll give you another example, what happened in Hong Kong. So how they came to know in, South Korea. So there was a family who came from Wuhan, China to South Korea. They went into a restaurant. So they were sitting on this table and there were some other people sitting on that table, this table, behind and in front. The AC was on this side and the AC blow was like this. Okay? Now what happened is that there were some 3-4 rows on this side. People were sitting here and having food in that restaurant. And the son of this family had COVID, but he was asymptomatic, no symptoms. He had COVID. At the time of going to the restaurant, he was asymptomatic. And you know what happened? 15 people in that restaurant got infected, of which 12 people were people sitting in this row, from where the AC blast was going. Even when a person was sitting 15 feet away from this person, 15 feet away from this person, that person became positive, but another bench was here, 8 feet away, he did not become positive. Understood what I am trying to say? The direction of the flow of the breeze, that's also important. In a closed room, of course, restaurants are always closed. There is no ventilation. The windows are never open. The AC is there, blowing like this. But closed room and the movement of the air in one particular direction, and that guy was asymptomatic. He was not coughing, nothing, okay? And still the COVID spread to 15 people and in that direction. But somebody sitting here, because the blow was not coming on this side, it did not spread. So in an open, well-ventilated place like this, when we have a session like this with proper distancing maintained, the chances of spread becomes very, very, very less. But the same thing, even if you do a social distancing, physical distancing in a small room, closed with no ventilation, then the chances of spread becomes very high. So this is about something about the virus, something about the spread of the virus. Now you will understand what you have to do for prevention. So now you know that the virus can spread, enter our body through the nose, through the mouth and through the eyes. So all the mucous membrane is where the virus can come in. It cannot come in through the skin. So if you have touched the virus somewhere, okay, and you don't touch your mouth and nose, you will not get COVID. Right? If you touch the surface and you don't touch your mouth and nose, you will not get COVID. But if you touch your mouth and nose or eyes something, rub your eyes like this and the virus is there in your hand, then you will get COVID. And that is why now you will understand what you have to prevent in your body to not get COVID. You have to close your mouth with something, you have to close your nose, you have to close your eyes. So that's what we have to do with mask, and that is why mask is important. So I will now discuss something about mask. So suppose two people, these experiments have been done, which I'll tell you. Two people standing 6 feet away, and if they talk, they are just talking to each other, they will have a huge blast of aerosols going to each other. But what has happened is, and in this aerosols, we were always throwing bacteria and viruses. Even before in a small room when we were talking, we were throwing bacteria and viruses to each other. But these viruses have been on earth for 1 million years, 10,000 years or 5 million years. And human body had already made defenses against those bacteria and viruses. And that is why we were not getting infected. Otherwise, each time, probably we are throwing thousands of different viruses at each other, even in a small room before also. But apart from, influenza, common cold, which used to spread slightly here and there, then maybe tuberculosis, that can spread, and mumps and measles. Apart from these 4 or 5 things, we used to not spread the infection to each other. But now this novel virus has come in, novel coronavirus 2, that's what it's called, and it's been labeled as COVID, coronavirus infectious disease. The disease is called COVID, and 19 because it was detected in December 31, 2019. Last day of 2019, the virus was detected. That's why the illness is called COVID-19, okay? And originated from Wuhan, China, probably have come from bats, and there was an intermediate host which is called anteater, armadillo, pangolin, that is called.
Friends, Dr. Vinod Prasad has joined us, chairman of
95 to 99% aerosols you will not throw. Okay? So this new virus, the human body has no defenses against that. That is why when we are throwing a new virus to each other, the body sees that, I don't know what has come inside. We don't know how to respond to this new virus, and that is why each person will respond separately, differently. Each person will respond differently, and that is why you hear, "Arey, wo to theek ho gaya, lekin wo to mar gaya." Why you are hearing all these things? "Arey, that 40-year-old died, but that 80-year-old survived." Because each human body will respond differently based on their immunity. Now what happens in children? When a child is born, there is something called thymus gland in our body, which is there till 15 years of age. Now, when the child is born, he gets exposed to millions of new things in food, everything, right? Whatever we eat, everything is new for a newborn baby. Milk जो अंदर जाते हैं, चावल अंदर जाएगा, दाल जाएगा, पानी के अंदर का वायरस, बैक्टीरिया सब जाएगा, एंड बॉडी ना उसके लिए डिफेंसेस बनाएगा. So the children, till 15, till 18, till 20 years of age, they can identify new things in the body. They can identify new things in the body. Once you start crossing like 35, 40, 45 years of age, the body's ability to identify new things decreases a lot. And that is why जितना ज़्यादा एज उतना ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम कोरोना वायरस में होता है. That is why 50 is a kind of a cut-off point. Above 50, if somebody gets COVID, then they generally have problems. They have complications in the lungs and all that. So let us see how we prevent with masks. So masks are of different types. सबसे सादा mask is cloth mask. Okay? So is it effective? Somebody takes a rumal and ties it around their face. Is it effective? Yes, to some extent it is effective. But what generally happens is the rumal falls down and then they keep adjusting because it has no system of tying properly. every time you adjust, you have touched something and you have adjusted your mask, you are exposing yourself to danger, right? And that is why that's not a foolproof method. But if you don't have anything, you can take a big handkerchief or a big shawl type of thing. You can tie that also. Secondly, in the beginning, what happened is that when they said mask, mask, then this type of mask started coming in. Now you realize this is single layer mask. Is this effective? No. Because this is just single layer. What is the size of the virus? 5 microns. And these holes are something like, 50 millimeters or, 50 microns to 100 microns holes है इसमें. And that's why the virus can easily enter it. That's why this single layered cloth masks are not effective. After that, what came in is that multi-layered cloth mask. इसमें 2 to 3 layers है, slightly more effective. Then what we have is this common mask. This is called a 3-ply mask. It has actually got 3 layers in it. It has got 3 layers in it, if you see, an outer, middle and inner layer. And the middle layer is a filter. You can't see that in this, but the middle layer is a filter in this, and that filter can filter large amount of bacteria and viruses. And that's why this is quite effective. This is quite effective in preventing person-to-person aerosol transmission. Now what is recommended is that if you are going to a shop, unless you are going right inside, so don't try to go right inside. The shopkeepers who have kept a table outside are the right thing to do. Because the more you stand outside in a well-ventilated area, the lesser the chances of COVID spread. So if you are just going out for a small thing like that, you are not a medical person, not a nurse, not a doctor, you are not coming in contact with hospital type of environment, this kind of mask is pretty okay. Then there are some more modifications, and one of them is this type of mask. This is also quite effective. I think many of you are wearing this type of mask here. This is also quite effective. This is also 3 layers. In the center there is a filter. So that filter and the outer inner layer, that is very important. And finally, we have what is called as N95 mask. Now, there are some N95 masks with valve. This is not good. This is good for me if I wear it, but not good for you because I am exhaling, right? ये valve से हवा बाहर जाता है. So whatever I am breathing out is coming out of this valve. But when I breathe in, the valve closes. So I don't get the virus, but I will give you the virus. Now, this mask, this cloth mask, that will help more the other person. It may not help you much, but it will help the other person. If I am wearing a cloth mask, when I talk, the blast doesn't go out. So my mask will protect you, cloth mask, and your cloth mask will protect me. So if everybody is wearing some kind of a mask, it is very good. Additionally, you are also getting protected by dust and fumes and all that. So it is a good idea to use mask not just for COVID but for other things also. In fact, now many people say it is rude not to wear a mask. It is uncultured not to wear a mask. Because if now I am not wearing a mask, I am not wearing, but I am keeping 8-10 feet away from you all, and I want to speak, that's why, otherwise I always wear a mask. But if I am not wearing a mask, it is rude and it is not culturally right, because that means that I wish that you get infection. So that is why I am telling you all this. What can you as an individual do to help in this COVID infection? One, you can follow all the instructions properly and you can educate others. That is what we are supposed to do. Each and every one of you, whatever you have learned, you are supposed to educate others. If you educate others, if everybody knows exactly what is to be done, then definitely we will win this COVID war. Now that's a bit about masks. Now the second thing is about hand sanitizers. Now when you are using hand sanitizers, you have to see that it has at least 70% alcohol in it. Now, unfortunately, as soon as the pandemic started, so many brands came in the market, and when I really saw that it had hardly any alcohol smell, they used to write 70% and all that. So many in gel form and liquid form and all that, and there is no way to chemically test it at my individual level. But I felt that many of the so-called brands did not have a proper concentration of alcohol in it, isopropanol concentration, and that means they were not effective. And I feel part of the COVID spread was because of improper or bad quality sanitizers that people were using for no fault of that.
Friends,
So that's we discussed about the mask. Now the sanitizer. So you have to be sure that you are using a sanitizer which has 70% alcohol in it, and it's a good brand. Of course, they have studied the brand properly. That is what they are distributing. But that's very important. If the concentration is less, it's not going to be effective, and you're going to spread the virus. So that's about sanitizer. Now, how do you use it? Every time you have gone outside, it is better you carry a small sanitizer like this with you. So either you use this or you use sodium hypochlorite. So you get sodium hypochlorite solutions also. One company, Alchem, makes sodium hypochlorite. The advantage of sodium hypochlorite is it is using oxidizing radicals and it doesn't smell. So people who don't, cannot bear the smell of alcohol and all these sanitizers, they can use that sodium hypochlorite solution. One brand is called Oxum. I'm not propagating any brand, it's just a good company and one brand. So that's also what we use. One alcohol-based sanitizer, the other is sodium hypochlorite solution. So every time you are going out, you are touching something, it is better to sanitize it. Every time you are getting something from a shop, it is better to keep it in a corner. And if the thing is properly covered with a plastic surface, then you spray a bit on it. Of course, open POW and all that you cannot spray. You just keep it away for a few hours and then you use it. That's how you have to do with sanitizers. Equally and even more effective is hand washing with soap. Now, I told you initially that there is an RNA inside and it has got a fat bilayer. It's got a lipid bilayer. So what happens is fats dissolve in soap. And that's why if you do a good hand washing, the virus will dissolve, the surface dissolve and it gets destroyed. So what is the contact time? 30 seconds. Actually it is 20 seconds. You have to hand wash for 30 seconds. If you are hand washing for 30 seconds, you destroy practically all viruses and definitely you destroy the coronavirus also. So that's about hand washing and this thing. The third thing is about, eyes, right? You got to protect your eyes also, and that is where you have to use some kind of a face shield. Now this is the simplest type of a face shield. You have to use this. Now how does face shield help? Just like I told you, when I talk, I am throwing aerosols on you. You might imagine face shield is here, everything is open from the sides. How will it be effective? So it is effective in this direct aerosol transmission. So although there is an airborne transmission, so you got the difference between droplet transmission and airborne transmission. Airborne means it's just floating in the air through a micro aerosol particle, and it is infecting somebody. So the droplets that come out from the mouth ranges from 5 microns to 500 microns. The 500 micron one will settle down. 90% of them will settle down on the floor within 3 to 4 feet distance. Whereas the 5 micron ones, that is the one which will travel in a closed room up till 27 feet. And even here, as I said, somebody back, third row, fourth row also could smell the perfume. So it can travel up till there. But the concentration of virus will keep decreasing with length. That is why in a closed room you get repeatedly exposed and you get infected. Whereas in an open space like this, if you don't shake hands and if you maintain distance, you will not spread it. And if you don't talk loudly or cough or anything, you will not spread it. So that's how it works. Now, either you use a face shield or you use a goggle. So this kind of a goggle which should be covered from the sides also. So this is what you can use. So if you have to enter some, some V-Mart or some shop where you are entering, it is better that you wear a proper mask, tied properly, you wear gloves also and you wear goggles also. If you have come to an open place like this, you need not wear a gloves, you wear only the mask, you need not wear the goggles because the other reasons I told you. But if you are entering a closed area, it is better you either use a face shield or a goggles with mask and with gloves also. Now remember, when you wear gloves, that doesn't mean you are protected. People wear gloves and keep adjusting their mask, so that is also wrong. With gloved hands also, you can use hand sanitizers and you can wash your gloved hand also. So you wash with soap and water your gloved hand, so that also helps. So these three main things are for prevention. The other thing is, remember that, as I said, above 50 is the red alert. And people who have diabetes and hypertension and heart problem or kidney or liver problem, they tend to develop much more complications with COVID. So they have to be very careful. So that is why what you can do now as prevention, people who are diabetic should more frequently check their blood sugars. So if you have a glucometer, you have to check your blood sugar. You may be doing it once in 15 days before, but it is better that one alternate day you check your sugars now. Because 2-3 things have happened. Lockdown, people say they cannot walk, they cannot go out and exercise. And lockdown, they are sitting at home and continuously eating something. So because of this, I see many diabetic patients and many of them the sugars have gone high. And that's why it is important that you check your sugars more frequently, and if the sugars is high, you can video consult with your doctor. You can tell him or her the sugar readings and readjust your doses. Secondly, you immediately try to do some form of exercise at home. So you can do step jogging, for example. You can do some weight training exercises. And people who have got, good stairs, isolated stairs in their building, they can do stair climbing. So that's very effective. Some form of exercise you must do to get your, circulation good and to keep the sugars under control. So preventive for people with blood pressure and diabetes is that you try to keep your parameters as close to normal as possible. You try to maintain a good diet and you try to do a good exercise schedule. What about diet? Diet, can it help with COVID? So COVID virus, there is a complex mechanism by which they cause inflammation in the body. And that inflammation happens because of oxidizing radicals. And that's why antioxidants are good as a preventive measure for COVID. Antioxidants. So you must have heard many antioxidants, like vitamin C is an antioxidant. So we recommend that people should take vitamin C. We recommend zinc preparation. So certain multivitamins have zinc in it. So that helps. Then vitamin D also has got role in immunity boosting and it helps in the lung health to improve. So vitamin D is recommended as a preventive measure. But in your natural diet also, there are antioxidants. Your natural diet can have antioxidants. And what are they? For example, bell peppers, what do you call it? Simla mirchi. So the colored Simla mirchi, the different color, the green one, red, yellow one, the different, they have lots and lots of good antioxidants. Ho gaya time? Yeah. 2-3 minutes more. And same way, your akhroad and badam, they can help you with some antioxidants. And all the green leafy vegetables and the leaf vegetables, they have a lot of antioxidants. So you increase the proportion of these things in diet, so that will help you to give a lot of antioxidants, and that helps in decreasing the inflammation in the lungs and the body. So you know that COVID affects the lungs most. So if you do these measures, probably, the lung damage can be minimized. So these are some of the important things that you can do as prevention. I hope I have covered most of the things. Yeah, you want a question? Okay, yeah, wonderful. So ideally you should keep 7 masks with you. So the one you use today, you keep it in a corner and use the another mask tomorrow, and you come back to that mask after 7 days. Now, if it's a cloth mask, you can just put it once you go home, you put it in either soap water or Dettol or sodium hypochlorite. So Dettol and this thing soap water is easy. You put it for 1 hour at least, and then you wash it and dry it. That you can use the next day. But what we doctors do, we keep about 10 to 15 masks. So every day, 3-4 times I change my mask. So like this is a new mask. I came from the hospital, I threw that mask away. Or if it's a costly mask, I keep it in the car dicky in a separate box. And then I will not use it after 7 days. So lots of boxes are kept like that. So the virus will survive for around 48 hours in this surface, mask surface. So that's a mistake that many people do, they go somewhere, then they remove with the hand like this and keep it. And after 2 hours, they put it back again. You are handling the virus. Virus may not have gone inside you, but it may be on the outer surface of your mask. And you have handled that and put it back again. You are going to infect yourself. So that's very important. Cloth mask, you can wash it, reuse it. But the other mask, you either dispose it or you use this method. Any more questions? Yeah, so ideally, if there is a good distance, between two people, so what you should do is, you wear a mask. Cloth mask is good enough. Multi-layer, not single layer. I think yours is bi-layer, yours one is 2 layer. So ideally 3-layer cloth mask is decent. So if you have maintained your distance, if it is nice and breezy, if not too many people are walking, if somebody is coming, you turn like this and walk, you are pretty safe, nothing will happen to you, you will not get infected. Without a mask also, but then don't do that, because I told you the example of the AC thing, right? So theoretically we feel that the breeze will blow here and there and the virus may not come to you, but probability is still there, right? The probability, like I told, pardon me? Yeah, you better wear mask. It protects you from Mumbai pollution, it protects you from the fumes of the trucks, and it protects you from COVID also. People who have asthma or bronchitis, it protects you from there. There is nothing, absolutely no contraindication for a mask. There is no contraindication. Even before COVID, many of the Korea and Hong Kong people were using masks. Many people were using masks. And in India it was a taboo. इंडिया में मास्क पहनना मीन ट्यूबरकुलोसिस हो गया ऐसा था, but there people used to do it for prevention. I think I have exceeded the time.
Friends, thank you doctor very much.
Okay, you put it on. Now either you will get a small line which goes up and down, or you will get a tracing like this. You will get a tracing. You may not see, but you may get a small line which is going up and down, or a tracing. Unless the tracing is proper, the reading is not correct. Okay? So that's why you put it. You hold it for some time. Okay, immediately in 2-3 seconds you don't take that reading. You hold it for maybe 10 seconds, 15 seconds. You ensure that this tracing, now you can see that bar going up and down, right? That should be proper. If that is not proper, that means the machine is not reading the pulse and the oxygen saturation properly. Now, you might get 2 things or 3 things in this. You will get a pulse, which is quite accurate if the tracing is proper. You will get the oxygen saturation. So, you know what is saturation? So, 100 ml blood, if my reading 98% of 100 ml blood, that is RBCs, are saturated with oxygen. That's what it means, saturated with oxygen. And when the lung gets affected in COVID, So first it affects the base here, and from there it keeps coming up. When the lung gets affected, this saturation will start going down. So what generally happens is, if my lung is affected, let's say 10%, so 90% lung is normal, saturation will still be normal. But what will happen if I put this and I walk like this for 5 minutes? That's called a 5-minute walk test. If I walk, the body demands more oxygen, and if the lungs are initially affected, slightly affected, that high oxygen demand will not be met, and what was 98 will come down to 94, 93, 92. So if somebody gets COVID, we tell them to, and we manage at home nowadays, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, but every day I do a video call with that patient. Every day I tell them mandatory, you have to call me every day, not an audio call, video call. I want to see this on the screen. I tell them, put that and you show me your oxygen, because I want correct information. So it so happens in COVID that after day 5, day 7, day 8, the lung involvement increases and the oxygen starts going down. And this saturation and that 5-minute walk test, that's a very good indicator which tells me, okay, this guy is getting lung involvement. Then I tell them, go to hospital. But 80% of the people, they will do that day 7, day 8, day 10, they will say my oxygen is okay, kuch nahi ho raha hai. We manage them at home also. And the other thing is this is the thermometer. So the oral thermometer are all gone, never put it in your mouth nowadays. It's a COVID work not to do that. Now this, unfortunately, again, lot of low quality things have come in the market. This I had bought long back, this good quality. So you have to put it like this on the forehead or on the neck like this. You may touch it or you may keep it slightly away, but you can't keep it this much away. Like you see many, like that it doesn't work. Okay? You have to keep reasonably close, then you have to press it and press it once or twice and you will get a reading here. Okay? So 98.4, above that, there is fever, 99, 100 and all. So that's also what we check with COVID on a video consultation. We check the pulse, we check the symptoms first. Cough, breathlessness, fever, headache, body aches. And when walking or having bath, do you become breathless? And the second thing we check is saturation and the walk test. And the third thing, of course, is temperature. So that much information is enough to tell us whether, they will push me out. So,
Thank you, doctor, so much for your